This is the Self-Storage Podcast, where we share the knowledge and skills from the industry's leading investors, developers, and operators to help you launch and grow your self-storage business. I'm your host, Scott Myers, and over the past 16 years, we have acquired, developed, converted, and syndicated over 2 million square feet of self-storage nationwide with the help of my incredible team at selfstorageinvesting.com, who has helped thousands of people achieve greatness in self-storage. Hey, everybody, Scott Myers here. Welcome back to the Self-Storage Podcast. I am your host for Follow Me Friday. And this Friday, as always, another busy week. We just finished up our Mastermind out in Phoenix, Arizona. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it was the best one yet. Well, this is a gathering. It's not an event. Our Mastermind is a group of A players in the industry, as we talked about on our last Follow Me Friday. And these folks are operating at a different level, and we are attracting folks that are at an even higher level. And so a true mastermind is not one person, myself or my staff or anybody standing on stage and teaching or orchestrating anything. I'm just a moderator. I write the check. We book the hotel, and I kick it off in the beginning, and then the rock stars then take the stage, which are our mastermind members. And it was incredible. So we started this mastermind, we started out with our VIP behind the scenes event, going to the Barrett-Jackson collector car auction, and it did not disappoint. I kept looking at my watch, looking at my calendar, thinking that, gosh, I have absolutely no business doing this, even though we had designed it to take as many of the members who wanted to go to come in early to this, and then also treat them to behind the scenes discussion with one of the master builders of one of these 200, well, he had several cars that he was auctioning off, and one of them was a $200,000 1969 Z28, where he spent 900 hours on the rear end of the car alone. It was absolutely beautiful. So we spent some time with him talking about the industry and where it's headed. And it's interesting what we learned from the last recession in 2008, when people were running from the stock market and people lost their jobs and they had their IRAs. They were, now they had the availability to either get into a business on their own, to be able to invest, or both. And all eyeballs were on self-storage, because during a recession, during a pandemic, self-storage does extremely well. And so what we learned from that is that mostly that folks are going to be coming back to us again as we head into this next recession, just like they've done during the pandemic. Self-storage is an essential business. It's done very well. People had to clear out space in their houses to do work there, come home, build an office there, to do school from there. So what the pandemic created then essentially was mimicking a recession. And so we get a glimpse of that. And since self-storage is an essential business and most of our facilities are running by way of a kiosk where you can rent or pay rent online, we really did not really miss a beat during the pandemic. And so as we head into this next recession, as interest rates rise and inflation is absolutely out of control, well, people exit the stock market. They're looking for a place to invest in a hard asset. Again, that's real estate typically. They like income-producing assets. And if you look around the landscape, all you have to do is look at the list of REIT performance, Real Estate Investment Trust performance for 2021 and 2020. Top of the heap, as usual, is self-storage. So all eyeballs are on our industry again. And in talking with this gentleman who is a builder, John, the car builder, and we've seen a huge increase in the valuations of our facilities because there's a whole lot of folks chasing it. We've got very low cap rates and even just crazy cap rates that we've never seen before because of the low interest rates, but then also because the demand is so high. And so many people are selling if they can. Anything they can get their hands on in terms of your own facilities in your own portfolio that is at a place where you can sell it, we're selling it. And that's what we're doing. This gentleman said, "Did you see the auctions from last year down in Florida?" I'm at the end of last year, and I said, "Yeah, I watched a little bit of it." And he said, "The cars that were selling for 40 are now selling for 80, and the ones that were selling for 80 are now selling for 135. He said, "It's crazy right now." He said, "All these people are exiting the stock market, and they're looking to buy a hard asset, something that's collectible that goes up in value." And I thought, well, isn't that interesting? So business is business, and it was interesting to then spend some time with this car builder to learn just exactly how he's approaching his business and doing the same thing. He said, "I got some cars in my collection that I built that I didn't think I'd ever sell." He said, "But looking at the prices right now, I can't afford not to. And then what I'll do is I'll just swoop down and pick up some more of these again as we get a little further into the recession," which is exactly our business model as well. We're going to be looking at some folks that got into the business and didn't know really what they were doing, didn't create enough value in their facility, and now when it comes time, they had an 80%, 90% LTV loan, and now it comes time to refinance. And the banks during a recession are at 65 or 70% loan to value, and interest rates are higher. They may be left with one of two options, either giving the keys back to the bank or selling it, and that's where we come in. So it was a fantastic way to look at how businesses are reacting to the looming recession and interest rates and inflation in our economy right now, which then that conversation just spilled over into the mastermind, and everybody was talking about their business model heading into 2022. As usual, I took a number of pages of notes. some things that I hadn't, some angles, some blind spots that I hadn't thought of in my own business that were brought out by some of the other folks. And we had some new folks. We have 4 people that joined, and we had another 7 folks. And it's pretty high caliber folks. We set the bar hard to get into the room. And we had 7 folks that were actually there looking as well, that we certainly hope join, because they brought a lot of value and will continue to raise the value of our mastermind if they do join as well. We also had at our mastermind, we had Pitch Decks, which is a side company by Richard Wilson with family offices. So Richard came and spoke, and he put on a mini workshop on how to raise private equity, and then talked about his new brand being Pitch Decks and our affiliation with them moving forward. We rolled out to the group some extreme discounts for working with them, a lot of freebies and goodies, and they're using our Pitch Decks themselves and the materials that they had created for us to show to the group, and some of the directions that we're heading, and tools and resources that we've implemented and we're putting into our business to raise capital and do it faster so that we can do more deals as well. Plus a gentleman of mine, Paul and Eric, they came in and talk about some wealth building tools that I think are just absolutely incredible. And it's the easiest way to describe it is insurance, self-funded life insurance that pays out on the back end by borrowing money to pay for the premiums. It creates a very large life insurance policy and a benefit to that, but then allows you to be able to use that in the meantime for investing in your properties. Way more advanced than that, and it's not what you think for some of the other folks that are peddling that out there, but it was pretty incredible, and a whole lot of folks' eyes were opened on ways that could tap into some equity that they never thought possible and retire a little bit sooner and better than we thought as well. Again, always good to see my kiddos, be able to have them come and join us. We did, in addition to Bear Jackson on the front end and that VIP experience, we did go to, so we were at the resort, Talking Stick Resort, which is phenomenal. If you've ever been to Scottsdale and out to Phoenix to go to the Talking Stick Resort and the casino, it's an unbelievable experience. And right across the way within walking distance was Topgolf. So we went over for one evening and rented out a room, had a buffet there for everyone. Rented out a handful of bays to be able to hit some balls, some far, some not so far, but really just another networking opportunity for everybody in the mastermind. And so that was great, and to be able to see our kids there as well for that, and a couple other times. So left the mastermind basically the last evening, took a red eye to go to Orlando to meet with our fund, one of the gentlemen that's within my fund, the other 2 out to shore up a couple of things, but then also to do a site tour at one of our facilities that we're getting ready to list for sales. We got one portfolio of 3 facilities. We got 2 actually coming to market. This is the first. It has 3 facilities, one being in Orlando, a conversion. So I went to do a site tour and make sure that everything was buttoned up and in line. And everything looks great because we're sticklers. I wanted to show as good as possible when anybody comes through. So just a few things to button up there. And folks, for those of you that invest with us passively, I'm not patting myself on the back or anything, but at my age, I don't need to be doing red eyes anymore, but I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it partly because of my schedule, but at the end of the day, that is what it takes to stay on top of our portfolio and the growth that we have. So I'm doing it for you. We also got a loan approval on our Oklahoma City project that we discussed last week, the 9,000 square foot existing facility on 5 acres, which are starting a first phase immediately upon closing of developing another 30,000 square feet. So loan approval, and very, very great local bank to work with. Low fees. They understand the business. They understand my partner who's in it as well, who's local. And I'm just going to be happier with our partnership with this bank. It's just a great program, and they were great to work with. We also got a line on, and too early to discuss this much, but we got a line on, let's say, more than 20, less than 30 facilities in one of the states in the United States of America. It's an off-market deal that we're looking at and exploring and underwriting right now, that one of my partners has a relationship with the family that owns it. So we're in discussions with them, and certainly hope something comes out of it that would be a fantastic addition to our fund. Fits right in our wheelhouse. All the properties are exactly what we're looking for. Value-add facilities, very well run, very well taken care of, but lots of meat left on the bone, lots of value add and value creation in that portfolio. So looking forward to seeing where that takes us. Then also went to Cincinnati, turned around as soon as I flew home the next day, turned around and went to Cincinnati, the second of our 3 facilities in this portfolio, and the last I'm going to tour before we head out to do another site visit. And again, like what we saw, this one needs a little more work in terms of what we needed to do to, in my opinion, begin traipsing buyers through there to be able to take a look at it, but nothing that we can't overcome in a short amount of time. So looking forward to putting that together, the plan together, and the portfolio offering, and getting that out. Marcus and Millichap is our partner, brokerage partner on that. And looking forward to getting that wrapped up and out to the market as well. On the personal side, there wasn't a whole lot to report this week. Sleep was the best thing that I did this week, outside of the fact that, Bear Jackson was just amazing. And seeing everybody, including the family out in Phoenix, having everybody together. The band was back together. So my youngest daughter went with us. The other 2 kiddos that are out there together, also with their significant other, one of their significant other. And just spending time with everybody at the Mastermind at Bear Jackson, the greatest car auction in the world, was just a great way to spend the week. And it's warm. I came home to 6 degrees going to Cincinnati, driving to Cincinnati for a site tour, and we were at, in the 70s and 80s out there in Phoenix. So there's something to be said for being a snowbird or relocating to the warmth. So with that, gang, hope everybody had a fantastic week as well. Have a productive rest of your Friday, depending on when you're listening to this. Fantastic weekend, and we'll catch you next week on the flip side, as they say. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Hey gang, wait, 3 things before you leave. First, don't forget to subscribe to the Self Storage Podcast and turn on your notifications so you never miss another episode. And while you're there, please leave us a 5-star review if you like the show. Second, be sure to share your favorite episodes and more via Instagram, and don't forget to tag us. And lastly, head to the links in the show description and hit the follow and subscribe button on Twitter and Facebook to get a front row seat as we grow and scale our business and bring you along with us. Take care.